Her children were inside this house. Their mother was already dead, and the man responsible was the one who asked for help. The door was locked. Food was burning on the stove, and the oldest child was quietly leading her sisters away from the bathroom. At first, police thought this might be suicide. Then they thought it was self-defense. But the truth was far worse. The call came in just after sunset. Not frantic, not panicked, not rushed. Just a calm male voice reporting a crime, and then disconnecting. For the dispatcher, that silence was unsettling. Calls like that rarely end well. When someone reports a violent incident and hangs up, it usually means one of two things. They're hurt, or they're running. Officers were dispatched immediately to a modest home on Silver Creek Lane, in a quiet Louisiana town where violent crime was rare and neighbors still waved from their porches. From the outside, nothing seemed wrong. The porch light was on. No broken windows. No shouting. Just a normal house settling into the evening. But the moment officers stepped inside, the atmosphere shifted. The smell came first. Food burning on the stove. A small, ordinary detail, except no one was cooking. Then they saw the children. 4 young girls standing together near the hallway, barefoot and frightened. The oldest, no more than 9, stood slightly in front of the others, her arms stretched out protectively. When officers asked where their mother was, she didn't cry. She pointed toward the bathroom. Inside the bathroom, officers found Emily Carter, a 28-year-old mother of 4, lying motionless on the floor. A single gunshot wound to the head. No pulse. No signs of life. She had been dead for some time. The room was eerily still. There were no overturned shelves. No shattered mirrors. No signs of a violent struggle. At first glance, investigators considered the possibility no one wants to believe, but must. Suicide. The weapon was nearby. The door had been locked, and nothing appeared disturbed. But that theory unraveled almost immediately, because Emily hadn't been alone. Someone else had been there, and whoever it was had left. The man who called 911 wasn't inside the house. He wasn't in the backyard. He wasn't on the street. He was gone. Officers cleared the homeroom by room, while others canvassed the neighborhood. That's when neighbors mentioned something important. Earlier that evening, a black pickup truck had been parked in the driveway, and minutes before police arrived, it had driven away. Security footage from nearby homes confirmed it. A black truck leaving the house. Calmly, not speeding, just minutes before the emergency call. Now, investigators were no longer asking what happened. They were asking who left. With no suspect in custody and uncertainty hanging over the scene, officers shifted priorities. The children. A nearby neighbor stepped forward immediately, opening her door without hesitation. She wrapped the girls in blankets, gave them snacks, and tried to distract them from what they had just experienced. But one detail lingered. The oldest child hadn't spoken much. She had seen something she didn't want to say out loud. And detectives knew that when children go quiet like that, it usually means the truth is worse than anyone expects. Less than an hour later, another call came in. Same calm voice. This time, he didn't hang up. "I need to turn myself in," the man said. "I shot someone." He gave his location, a retail parking lot just outside town, and said he would wait. When officers arrived, the lot was empty, except for one man standing alone under a streetlight. His name was Logan Reeves. He didn't resist, didn't cry, didn't ask questions. He simply complied. At the station, Logan began explaining what happened. According to him, Emily had pulled a gun during an argument. He said they struggled. He said he feared for his life. He said the gun discharged accidentally. Self-defense. And at first, the evidence didn't immediately disprove him. The gun was registered to Emily. There were no obvious signs of a fight, and Logan had no visible injuries. For a brief moment, investigators faced a terrifying possibility. What if he walked free? As the interrogation continued, detectives noticed something strange. Logan never referred to Emily by name. She wasn't my girlfriend. She wasn't the mother of her children. She was just a woman. He spoke at length, not about her, but about himself. His stress, his frustration, his sacrifices. And then he revealed something chilling. Emily was in the middle of a separation from her ex-husband. As part of their custody agreement, she wasn't allowed to have anyone stay overnight. Logan knew that, and when their relationship started to unravel, he threatened to expose it, knowing it could cost Emily custody of her children. That wasn't fear. That was leverage. While Logan talked, forensic results came back, and they changed everything. Emily's phone was still clutched in her dominant hand. She hadn't been holding a gun. Then came the most damning discovery. Strands of Emily's hair were found inside the barrel of the weapon, meaning the gun had been pressed directly against her head when it was fired. This wasn't a struggle. This wasn't self-defense. This was an execution. When detectives returned to the interrogation room, Logan Reeves sensed the shift immediately. The room felt smaller, quieter, heavier. Gone was the gentle pacing. Gone was the open-ended curiosity. They didn't accuse him. Not yet. Instead, they asked him to repeat himself. Again and again. Each time, the details shifted. The timing changed. The positions changed. The struggle grew longer, then shorter. What had once sounded like fear now sounded rehearsed. And Logan knew it. His body language betrayed him. He stopped leaning forward, stopped making eye contact. His hands fidgeted constantly. Then came the question he hadn't prepared for. Which hand was she holding the gun in? Logan froze. He guessed. It was the wrong answer. Detectives laid the evidence out slowly. Not dramatically, not emotionally, just facts. Emily's phone had been found in her dominant hand. She hadn't been holding a weapon. Then they mentioned the hair. Hair recovered from inside the barrel of the gun. That single detail destroyed everything. Because hair doesn't end up there during a struggle. It only ends up there when the barrel is pressed directly against skin. Logan's breathing changed. His voice rose. His calm demeanor collapsed into irritation, then anger. He stopped saying it was an accident. He started saying it got out of hand. That shift mattered, because accidents don't get out of hand. Intent does. While Logan unraveled, detectives turned their attention to the one piece of the case no one wanted to touch. The children. They were safe now, physically, but emotionally, the damage was already done. The oldest child had been unusually quiet since the night of the shooting. When investigators finally spoke to her with trained specialists present, she didn't offer a dramatic story. She didn't exaggerate. She didn't cry. She simply described what she heard. A raised voice. Her mother telling someone to leave. A loud bang. Then silence. She didn't say she saw the shooting. She didn't have to. Her account matched the forensic timeline perfectly, and it destroyed any remaining doubt. When detectives returned to Logan with the full picture, he knew it was over. His story no longer held weight. His explanations no longer mattered. And for the first time since his arrest, he panicked. He asked if it was fair. He asked if they understood how stressed he had been. He asked if anyone was on his side. But there was one thing he never asked. He never asked about the children. Not once. That silence spoke louder than any confession. Eventually, Logan requested a lawyer. The interview ended, and with it, his last chance to control the narrative. Logan Reeves was formally charged with second-degree murder, multiple counts related to child endangerment and abandonment. Prosecutors laid out the case carefully. They didn't rely on emotion. They relied on evidence. The phone, the gunshot angle, the hair in the barrel, the threats, the timeline. By the time the case went to trial, the defense had little room to maneuver. Self-defense was no longer believable. Accident was impossible. The truth was simple. Emily had tried to end the relationship, and Logan had refused to let her go. The trial didn't last long. Jurors deliberated quietly, methodically, and when they returned to the courtroom, no one looked surprised. Logan Reeves was found guilty on all charges. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. No outburst, no tears, no apology, just silence. Emily's children didn't attend the sentencing. They didn't need to. Their lives had already been permanently altered. They went to live with family members who did their best to give them stability, therapy, routine, safety. But some damage can't be undone. The oldest child still remembers the smell of burning food. Still remembers guiding her sisters away. Still remembers the sound. This case wasn't solved because of luck. It wasn't solved because of a confession. It was solved because of details, small ones. Details a killer didn't think mattered. A phone held in the wrong hand, hair where it shouldn't be, and children who were far braver than anyone should ever have to be. If there's one lesson here, it's that calm voices can hide violent intentions. And the truth has a way of surfacing, no matter how carefully someone tries to bury it.